Hey everyone, Happy Dude here, and the weather outside is not that great, so I decided to work on my Ford Bronco, and then when we have some nice weather, we can go outside and play with it. First, let's start with the tires. These are still the original ones, and new tires can be expensive, but there's a modification that you can do so you can have more grip with these tires. So this is how it performed before the modification. Okay, so these little triangles that you see here, I'm going to cut them out. First, I make a cut like this to cut it loose from the bigger rubber block, and then I put it on the underside and cut it loose. Now be careful because you're very close to your fingers, and then you can just pull it off. And now I have to do that for the whole tire 4 times. Okay, one tire is now completely done, and here are all the tips, and this took about 40 minutes, so I did it while I was watching a movie. Here you can see the difference, and now I have to do 3 more tires. If you rub the tire against your hand, you will feel a lot of difference in grip. And this is the result after the modification, with a bigger hill and in loose sand. So you already saw in another video how I installed this roof rack together with these scenery lights. Let me show you just how much you can see with the scenery lights. Look at that. Now you can see everything around the car. This is very handy at night. And there used to be a LED light bar, but it's a bit out of place for an old school truck. This is how it was with the light bar. So I decided to install these retro lights that were included with this roof rack. But the LEDs that were included with these headlights worked on 12 volt, so that means I couldn't hook them up on the light power module from Traxxas. And also the light itself was warm white, it was very brownish, and that looked ugly compared to the original Traxxas headlights. So I ordered 5mm LED bulbs that work on 3.5 volt and that have a white color, and then I simply connected everything to the Traxxas light power module. And this is how it is now. So there's a little bit of color difference, but I think it looks very cool like this. And I also installed magnets, as you can see here, and a metal round piece here, so it's very easy to put the body on and off, because every time I put the clips inside you make scratches. And I also broke off a window wiper while I was pulling out the clips, so I also installed new window wipers and also new chrome mirrors with a real mirror in. So it's not a sticker, it's a real mirror. But I also want to do a modification to this roof rack. Since I'm never going to put a spare tire here, I'm gonna cut this out and put some wooden planks on here, so it looks a bit more old school. So here are some small wooden pieces that I found in a store somewhere, but they are a bit short, so I'm going to glue them together. I'm also gonna put some glue on some extra pieces. You will see why I do that. After 5 minutes of waiting, we can put the pieces together. So I'm going to put that right on there, and then we have a strong connection. And this will need to dry a few hours. To cut the roof rack, I bought these discs, and these are very good. They are in a Dremel. Now there's a lot of junk out there, but these won't break. So if you need good ones, buy these. And it comes with this very handy tool that will make sure it doesn't spin around. You just grab this, push it against the table, and then you can put this right over there, turn it, and then it clicks into place. Very handy. Alright, it's done. So I also had to cut this piece out to make it work. And now we're gonna remove some sharp edges and also some paint so the glue can stick to it. Then we put some glue on the bottom of the wooden pieces, wait for 2 minutes, and then we can put them on the roof rack. And now we're gonna let that dry for the night. Now I already made a video where I install and test this Traxxas winch, and it's the same with this sound module that makes a V8 sound. That's also in another video. What's new is I've installed this metal radiator behind this grill. It's just a metal plate that looks like a radiator. And because I've installed so many new modifications, I had to reorganize everything. So now everything is nice and neat. But there was a new problem because I've added so many new lights and a winch and a sound module. There was some electrical interference and the lights were flickering. So that's because everything was connected to this ESC with a splitter, and the ESC cannot deliver enough electricity. So I've added a splitter that goes directly to the battery, and now everything works perfectly. And because I've added so many things, the car is now a lot heavier. So now I have to adjust the springs. It's easier to do this with the wheels off. When the compression is about right, then I measure it from top to bottom and make sure it's the same distance on all four. And now we can put the wheels back on. Number 5 is the perfect setting to tighten it. Okay, the car is back up again. It used to be like this, with all that extra weight. Yeah, that seems perfect. Okay, I think the rear still needs some tiny adjustment. Okay, so I did some final adjustments to the springs, and just like a real car, it doesn't go all the way up, so you always need a little bit of slack. Let's see if it drives realistically. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe it needs to be a little bit softer, but not a lot. And my spare wheel has just been delivered. This is the part number. So I was searching how to disassemble this. I thought it were two halves, but it's this piece that you have to get out. So just put a screwdriver in it and pop it out. There we go. Now I'm actually going to cut this off because I don't want to drill holes in the side of the body, and I also don't want these things hanging from the side. Make sure this is facing up, and then we put this through there and screw this on. And now we can put the front piece back on. And then we put some screws in there and tighten those. And now we have to drill some holes in the body, and it's actually marked on the body. That was a very smart thing to do from Traxxas. First I'm gonna drill a hole with a very small drill. It's only 2 millimeters. And then we make that hole bigger with a reamer. And now we have a perfectly nice round hole. Now this third hole right here, you don't need to drill, you can just poke through it. And now we can fit our spare wheel, and it fits. The holes are 6mm. And then we put this guard on and put some screws in there, and then we are done. All right, the Bronco is completely finished now. The springs are now perfect. It moves very realistic, and we have a little bit of slack, but still enough ground clearance. I'm just waiting for some fuel cans for on the back and on the roof rack, but they weren't delivered on time. So guys, please let me know what you think about it, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and you all have a nice day now. Bye.